Welcome back, my darling, my beautiful collective. You caught me just in the nick of time. So this is going to be our Oracle Tarot combo, and we're going to start with the Soul Truth Oracle deck. Then we're going to transition to the Big Mice Tarot deck. Our starting card is Am I Willing? This comes from the Soul Truth. It says, you're on the edge of something great. Can you feel it? Yes, there is risk, uncertainty, and imperfections ahead. Failure is certain and vulnerability is a requirement. You must be brave and trust yourself more than ever before. You will reach the dream, but you must stretch yourself into a whole new level of belief and willingness in order to move forward with courage. Today's soul action: be brave, follow your heart's compass, and lift the lid on your own dreams. Today's mantra: it's possible. All right. Let's look at the next one. So what other imagery, messages ought we contemplate today? What is Spirit trying to get us to look at? To whom am I comparing myself now? Okay, this one says, what you're able to see in another is only visible because it is within you, ready to be brought out. Shine light on this feeling of not enough and see the truth. All that you need and all that you want is within you. Today's soul action. Today, stop comparing and start creating. There you go. Let's see. Let's look at what else Spirit has for us today. So what's our next message? What if it isn't true? Right? So this one says, the thing you're telling yourself right now, the concrete reasons why you think you don't belong, you can't do it, you won't get there, or you're not enough, or it's not for you. What if it wasn't true? Today's soul action. It's time for a soul chat. Close your eyes, put your hands on your heart, and ask the wise one within you, what if it isn't true? What else might be possible? Journal your answer. What lie do I need to let go of to reach my soul's truth? I like this one. Let's take the next one directly as it comes. This one says, am I letting fear stop me? Some trade their dreams for comfort, yet comfort is the enemy of progress. Success requires showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it, and even when it feels uncomfortable. It takes guts and an endless vision to stay consistent to your dream. Today's soul action. Journal where you can. Be more consistent in your life in alignment with your soulful goals. Then show up. All right. Let's grab a couple more, and then let's take the energy at the bottom of the deck, and then we'll move on to the Big Mice Tarot. How can I infuse more self-love and compassion into my daily life? That one sounds like one that is most needed, huh? If your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. A quote from Buddha. Today's soul action. Choose one self-care action to do today. This is a list of 10. So the first, set stronger boundaries. The second, meditate and listen to your heart. Third, speak to yourself with compassion. Fourth is focus on your strengths. The fifth, say no to something that isn't a soul yes. Sixth, say yes to something that you are afraid of. Seventh, let go of what you cannot control. 8, stay far away from drama and negativity. 9, ask for help and allow it. 10, Write down 3 things that you're grateful for. All right. Let's grab one more. And again, that energy at the bottom of the deck. So, our next one. Am I afraid to be seen? Okay. The world doesn't want you to hold back any longer. Time to shine your unique light on the world. You're made from love, and from love you are whole. There is no more hiding. There is no more shame. There is only truth. Live naked and free. Today's soul action. What parts of me do I hide so that I can be socially accepted and fit in? Am I being authentic? Do I allow myself to be all of me? What do I need to feel so that I can be safe to be seen? And journal your answers, right? And let's take the bottom of the deck. What can I burn? This one says, burn it all. The ugly lies, the pain, the shame, the criticism, the images that run through your head, the reminders of what you did wrong, and the proof that you are not enough. Burn, baby, burn. Your soul is calling. It's time for a rebirth. You're like the phoenix rising from the ashes, no longer attached to the past. You are free. Your wings are ready. Use them. Today's soul action. Make the choice that you no longer let the past define you. Pick up your pen. What will your next chapter look like? Okay. A lot to think about with the soul truth. So let us now turn our attention and focus over to the Big Mice Tarot deck, where from seemingly small inspiration comes big change. Let us see where today's tarot journey takes us. Angels, ancestors, guides, beings of light, ascended masters, what do we need to know about today's energy and how we can best use it for the highest of divine purposes? Our starting energy is the Four of Cups. Okay, so Four of Cups is this energy of not seeing something or not being satisfied with something, right? The traditional image for this card is a figure sitting underneath a tree. There are 3 cups before that figure, and there's usually a cup coming from the periphery, seemingly out of nowhere. It is a cup being offered by the divine, right? So the imagery suggests that the figure has sampled the 3 cups ahead and find them lacking in some form or fashion. So there is this contemplation. Is this all there is? Is there nothing more? Are there no more options to be had? So it is a bit of this energy of thirsting for more, wanting more, maybe a bit of apathy for the choices that you already have before you, right? So the question becomes, what are we going to do next? Our next stop is the potential or challenge. So how is that showing up in today's reading? The King of Cups. King of Cups energy, masculine, water energy. This can be Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. Doesn't have to be Sun, could be Moon, Rising, or another prominent placement. The King of Cups is someone who is compassionate, kind, caring, emotionally balanced, and stable, right? Someone who is diplomatic and really empathetic and cares for those around him or her, because remember, tarot only talks about energy, not gender. So this is compassion in action. The masculine energy does, is, becomes, right? So this is love or compassion in action. And I feel like this deep love, this desire to give love, right? That's the challenge. There is this desire to do more of that as it crosses the Four of Cups. What is the focus on? What ought we focus on? What ought we focus on today? The Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune talks about divine timing, luck, right? A bit of the wheel turning in our favor. The wheel is always turning. Sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down, right? But this definitely conveys time, or perhaps the need for patience. Everybody's favorite P word, right? Well, so patience. Something that may require work, or for us to just simply surrender. What is the strength position? The Moon card. Okay. So the strength position here is about release, letting go. Let go of the hopes, the fears, the expectations. Not everything is bad with this, right? But when we start to put expectations on someone or something, when we start to envision it, perhaps there is this energy, right? Or this temptation where we start to believe that there's only one way that whatever this is, this desire, this manifestation, this relationship, this job, whatever the case may be, there is this expectation that there's only one way to achieve it, one way for it to come in. It has to be done this way. It has to come in by a certain time. It has to be this, that, or the other, right? All of these rules, expectations, all of these guide points, I guess. Whatever this is our own creation, right? The only problem with that is we're not creating alone. We're co-creating with the universe. So while we give that blueprint to the universe takes a bit of artistic licensing when it fashions whatever this manifestation is. It's not happening on our timeline. We don't know the materials with which Spirit is 3D printing this. So we don't know when it's going to come in, how it's going to come in, what it's going to look like. We just have a loose idea, and Spirit has this artistic interpretation of what we've asked it for. So, that being said, it's about letting go. It's about knowing that we're not doing this alone. That as part of the process, we have to trust in Spirit's wisdom, guidance, and ability to bring us what we truly want and desire, even if it's not what we've expressed as such. What is the recent past? The Ace of Swords. This is truth, clarity, thought, a brand new beginning. Perhaps even cutting away what no longer serves, because the sword does just that. I do feel like this is about clarity, though. Perhaps you're starting to gain a new perspective, a breakthrough when it comes to communication and or thought. What is the near future? Well, the Queen of Cups. Interesting. So it looks like this Queen of Cups energy, if I had to guess, she kind of looks like she's knitting this blanket. A blanket of stars, as it were. It's very comfy, cozy, compassionate, loving, kind energy here. The Star card gives this element of not just beauty, but wonder, magic. Suggestive of working with the universe. I feel like part of this is, the universe is trying to work to make us happy, to show us love. The queens in the tarot represent receptive energy, especially feminine energy, right? Receptive energy. But also a higher level of status, of mastering this at a higher level than, say, some of the lower cards, which can be pages. Pages can be masculine or feminine energy, right? Depends on the card. I've seen some that have figures of boys or girls, right? Or they also show up in other decks as princesses, right? In some. And the princes can be the equivalent of the knights. Anyway, I digress. The Queen of Cups, right? So this is about receiving love or emotion. So that's our near future. What is the suggested approach here? The Two of Pentacles. Interesting. I would almost say that I would expect to see this image on perhaps the Two of Wands, right? The figure is blindfolded, and they're trying to decide, the little mouse is trying to decide which direction to go. And he has a cane, right? Or she. And they are making moves. The Two of Pentacles often represents balance and harmony. It can be juggling ideas, right? Maybe this even talks about making a decision, because in order for you to make a decision, first you need to consider your options, right? You need to weigh which option is best for you. So there is a bit of this oscillating energy, right? Do I go this way? Do I go that way? There is a bit of trying to make an informed decision. The Pentacles also remind us to take things slow, right? Things ought not to be rushed, but to move with purpose and a bit of grace, right? What is the you need to know section? Interesting. You need to know that you need to make a decision. Or it can be about love. This is the Lovers, right? So it can be about a deep soul connection. But oftentimes as well, it's about a choice. So there is a choice that needs to be made. What choice will you make here? What is the hope and or fear? The hope is that you're going to make a decision. The fear is that you have to make a decision. The Two of Swords is exactly that. Stuck at a crossroads. Oftentimes, this figure is blindfolded. It's not here. Oftentimes as well, there is this implication, right, with the water behind this figure that talks about emotions. And I believe that's often why the figure is blindfolded. It's because this talks about making a decision, not with the mind, because there's a stalemate with the mind, right? You have two clear options. The problem is you're torn between those options. So there is a bit of, there needs to be a deciding factor. There needs to be a method by which you're going to move in one direction versus the other because you're split and you really don't know which way to go. So with the blindfold, this is telling you that you should make the decision not with what you can see, but with how you feel. And again, the water behind the figure is the implication. Make it with your emotions. Since you're stuck, what do you feel you ought to do? Right? So this can also be listening to your intuition, because intuition is also connected with the water. So, the hope and our fear. We have a decision to make. Are we trusting our intuition here? What is the probable outcome? Spirit saying I said what I said. The High Priestess. The High Priestess is also about intuition. Trust your intuition here. Whatever this decision is, right? This is a test of you using that intuition. Spirit is saying, I'm there with you in your intuition, guiding you. The High Priestess also represents the sacred divine feminine. This is a concept connected to both emotions and the mystical, right? There is just this sense of inner knowing. With the High Priestess, right? She is wrapped in mystery, mystical rites, initiation into the sacred, ether of the universe. She is the master of the spiritual realm, right? That is where her seat of power lies. And in the 5D, she wields great and incredible power. Powers of knowing. Powers of divination. Powers of connecting with spirit, right? She's in tune and tapped in because that is her domain. Keep in mind, energy, not gender. So, as co-creator with the universe, remember, are you tapped in? Are you listening to your intuition? Are you allowing spirit to guide you? This can also be a representation of your higher self if you're divine feminine. And keep in mind, we also have both energies within us. Divine masculine, divine feminine energies. We're beings that embody both. The energy at the bottom of the deck, right? Whatever this is, the World card, this is a sense of completion, mission success, attainment, victory, right? A bit of the energy as well. It's going to be what it's going to be. You cannot control what Spirit has destined for you. The only part of this journey that we can control is our response to what we're given. Do you accept it? Or are you resisting it? The choice is yours. So choose wisely. Use your intuition. Peace, love, and light.